to Read with Abiola. Yes, today it's our parent interview segment, and we have some beautiful women in the house today. So today they'll be discussing our reading program and how this journey has helped them and their family. Okay, so we have in the house, we have Mrs. Elizabeth Macaulay. She is an educationist and an amazing mother. So we have Mrs. Ifabi Tolulokwe. She is a lawyer, an educationist, and the CEO of Dairy Stores. And last but not least, we have in the house Mrs. Fidelia Ifaye. As you can see, she is the CEO of Stand Out Boutique Kata. She's also an educationist. Okay, see, we have a great team in the house today. Okay, mommies, are you ready to answer our questions today?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to start by asking this question. What can you say about the program Read with Abiola? What do you know about our program, Mrs. Tolulope? Can we start with you?
Thank you so much, Read with Abiola, for having me on your program today. Read with Abiola is a program that has been helping kids, sensitizing them, bringing back the reading culture, encouraging them to read. Children of these days, they tend to forget that reading is something that should be, it should be like, let me say, like an hobby. It should be something that they should enjoy. But thank God for this program. Thank you for bringing back this reading culture through the Read with Abiola program.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Mrs. Tolulope. Thank you. Okay, now that brings me to the next question. And this one, I'm going to ask Mrs. Fidelia to answer the next question. Okay, our program Read with Abiola, how has it helped you with dealing with your children at home, especially in the aspect of reading, compared to this online gaming and this 21st century technologies we have?
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Abiola, for having me here in this program. I'm super excited anyway to talk about it because it has really helped me and my children at home to read. Because nowadays, reading is not easy at all when it comes to children, even adults, because of the social media, the internet, your phone, mobile, everything. But with Read with Ms. Abiola, it has been awesome. Because now my son, he can take a book, sit down and read. Not only to read, but reading with understanding. Having in mind that that when you read, it's like you are traveling, you are going places, learning about the world around you, even at the spot where you are. So it has really helped him a lot. I read a lot of books within the short time frame due to Read with Abiola.
Thank you so much. That is an amazing feedback from you, Miss Fidelia. Okay, now to Mrs. Macaulay. Please, can you tell us how this reading program has helped you at home, especially with your kids?
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Abiola. It's a pleasure for me to be here. I'm so happy, I'm given an opportunity to talk about this because it has really helped my children a lot. And when I mean my children, I mean that they now read with fun, and especially they read to understand, especially what Ms. Fidelia said the other time. Yes, this program has really helped to help the children come back to the culture of imbibing how to read and how to digest and how to understand, how to relate it to globalization. It's really a fun thing, and I'm really happy because right from when children start to scribble, they remember, oh, I see some elderly people write, so what can I do? They try to read and they don't understand. They chunk out their phonic sounds, but they really don't understand. But but the way you simplify all these reading habits and how to inculcate them into knowing the meaning of reading, how it could take them far in the society, it's really amazing. So kudos to you again, Mr. Abiola. Thank you for this program.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mrs. Elizabeth Macaulay. All right, then this next question will go to Mrs. Tolulope. So, Mrs. Tolulope, what are the challenges you face as a mother as a working mother and trying to get the kids into this reading culture?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. It's a very challenging one. I have to be very frank with you. Getting the kids these days to read, as a working mom, as an entrepreneur, and as a mom too, trying to juggle everything together has been quite challenging. Like you getting the kids to read with this new advent of technology, and they really want to go on the internet to do stuff, to stalk the internet and learn about so many things. And because of the jet age and seeing people at a very tender age, or getting successful, and they tend at times to believe that without reading you can be successful. But as a mother, that's my role. I have to guide them. But for you to really go far in life, there's no shortcut to it. You have to read. You have to learn. Reading is just not about, it goes beyond the fun of it. It's acquiring information. It's making you to know the future right from the present. So that's what I usually tell my kids. Okay, you want to be a doctor? Right from now you can start reading about what doctors do. You want to be a lawyer? Start reading about what lawyers do. Even now you want to be a YouTuber like most of them, I tell you, do you know how it is to do this internet stuff? You can always study about all these things. So, and there are books around, and even I can remember one of the books you gave us about the power of a praying child. I've actually been teaching them about you can pray, you can do a lot of things, but reading about it in a simpler form through that book also made those kids to understand. Reading cuts across everything, religion, culture. Through reading, you practically know everything.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Mrs. Tolulope. Really appreciate that. Okay, now I'm going to ask you some personal questions. Okay. As adults, as a mother, as a working mother, always busy, we all understand that. Have you read any book this year? Let's start with Mrs. Virginia. I know it's interesting. Okay.
Oh, thank you for that question, Miss Abiola. Because it's like you just targeted me to ask me this question. However, yes, I have started reading. Initially, I don't used to, but since I started attending your program, it really motivated me to start reading.
Wow, that's
yes.
amazing.
Even my son was like, "Oh, mom, you can read now." I said, "Yes, I'm reading now. I have to read." I have, like Miss Tolu said. So anything you are doing in life, anything you want to do in life, everything is written. There are books for it. You read about it, and you know more about that particular thing you're doing. You don't just say like, okay, I know all. Like now, I'm like a business person now, so I can't say that I'm just selling. I have to read more to know more. What do I do to increase my sales? How do I get my customers? How do I attend to my customers? So everything in life is there for you to read and learn more about it.
This is amazing. This is amazing. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, and I'm glad you started reading.
Yes.
Okay, Mrs. Fabi, what about you? How many books have you read this year so far?
Okay, actually I read, and by the fact that I'm a certified UIFS practitioner, recently, I teach little kids, but the kind of thing I teach them these days have actually propelled me more to start reading. Like recently, let's say last year, I realized teaching kids about dinosaurs. These are things I've never thought about before, but I personally, as a person, I have to start studying about
dinosaurs.
I read about dinosaurs, the names, and it's a lot about it. And from that, I moved to teaching them about we call them we are Asia, Africa, North and South America.
The continents.
I had to start reading about it. I could say, from my own perspective, it's not like I started that reading, but because I'm teaching the kids,
so you have
to propel me, motivate and push me, and I have to really, really tell you, I enjoyed it. Even there's no end to reading,
That's true.
Just like we as an adult. The day you stop reading, then you stop growing.
Exactly.
So if you want to keep growing, You just have to keep
read.
Yes.
Thank you.
So, it's 3 months in a year. I can say that at least I've read.
Oh, that is
yes.
amazing. That's
and I'm
amazing.
still reading.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much, Mrs. Tolulope. Okay, Mrs. Elizabeth Macaulay, what about you?
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Abiola. Actually, I need to be factual over here because we are all learning, and as we're sharing experiences, we learn more and we grow more. Yeah, I won't say I don't read, but seasonal reading. The reason why it's seasonal reading because I don't find a need for it. Not until maybe I want to teach about a particular thing. And you know, there are some children in the class that are so inquisitive. They are inquisitive. The way they will ask you some questions, it might throw you off your feet if you don't know much about that particular thing you're talking about. Like what Ms. Tolu said, yes, even about the continent of the world, I found out that. So there are some countries, you know, I was like, ooh, so this country is in the, you know, it was just as if I was a novice, but you know, but at the end of the day, it's added more to me, and especially about special needs, because I had different challenges about special needs kids in my class, and you know, I really went in more into it, especially autism. I started studying about it, and I think with this, it gave me another way, like another pointer to where am I going in the future, you know. I really love how it's going, how the instructional ways you can deal with them, kids with special needs and everything. So it really gave me another foresight to know where else to go. Okay, I didn't read anything about it. I wouldn't know
exactly
much about it. And so, even some I did subconsciously, I discovered, oh, it is written. I was just thinking it from my mind, like, oh, how can I just be together in the right mind right frame of mind with these children? But at the end of the day, I see that me reading about it has really helped me to know the instructional method, the things I could do to make them come into the class and focus more. So if I don't read, how am I going to know? So, but reading is really life.
It is life. You see, you get that reading is life. Thank you so much. This is amazing. I love it. Thank you, Mrs. Elizabeth. Thank you, Mrs. Tolu, and thank you, Mrs. Fidelia.
Thank you for
and one last advice to parents. I want you guys to give advice to parents out there on how they can get their kids into reading, how they can cultivate the habit of reading, especially the lost reading culture. So let's start with Mrs. Fidelia.
Okay, yes. I know it is not easy these days to like make children to read. Okay, but I'll cite an example in my family. What my husband does is that he will ask the children to read, my son especially. So he would give him a book. Okay, so after reading the book, my husband would give him 10 years or 5 years. Yes,
that's
so, like reward you get for reading. Yes, and it's really motivating. He would want to read more.
More,
because
so he gets more money. That's
it. So it is very important that we encourage our kids to read. Just find a way that you make that reading fun for your child. Encourage your child to read, because with all this social media, internet, Facebook, so many things, it is not easy at all.
Thank you so much,
And with Miss Abiola, you need to bring your kids or to subscribe to our channel, because you won't regret it.
Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, Mrs. Tolulope, what advice do you have for parents out there?
Okay, my advice for parents will be do what you want the kids to do. If you want the kids to read, you as a parent, you have to read. We have to lead by example. These days, if you carry phone and we keep pressing phone, the kids also want to do the same thing.
Yes.
If we sit down 24/7 on Netflix, the kids want to sit down 24/7 on Netflix. But if we as parents, you sit down, the dad is sitting, the mom is sitting, and they are reading, we are the first teachers of our kids. So if we are reading, I want to tell you the kids are also going to read. So thank you very much.
Thank you. That is really good. I love it. Thank you so much, Mrs. Tolulope. Mrs. Elizabeth, what do you have to say to parents?
Actually, I'm short of words because my two colleagues have already, you know, they've dealt with this topic already. But I also have one more, and Actually, leading by example is a very, very first key. Like key to it. Rewarding is also best. Very, very good, because it really helps them, because we have so many side attractions now that really, really, really killing the destiny of kids to read. And you know, without them reading, that's why I always explain to even my pupils or my children, like, you have to read. Even if it's in math, you have to read. The instructions are going to come with reading. Even if there are going to be signs and numbers, but still, you have to read. That will simplify almost half of all the things you want to know. So reading is a very, very good habit that we should inculcate in our children, and especially telling them you will take them for fun. Taking children out for fun makes them cool down. There are times for sober reflection, actually. Not all the time you read. They'll become so bored, you know. Kids love to play outside and everything. So you just target to it. Okay, darling children, no problem. You have to read, but there's a reward to it. I'm going to take you guys out. We're going to have so much fun, especially where they love to go. So that will really, really help them to try to impress you by reading. And by them reading, they are gaining more. And at the end of the day, you're enjoying yourself.
That's true. That is excellent. I love it. Thank you so much, Mrs. Elizabeth. Thank you so much, Mrs. Tolulope. And thank you so much, Mrs. Fidelia Ifeanyi. Okay, just to add to what they've said, like, you can also get your kids into area of interest. For example, some kids love books about dinosaurs, like she said earlier. Some love comics. Some, they just want to read about princesses and princes. You know, just fairy tales. So you just need to ask them, which area do you like to read? You know, what interests you in reading? And by so doing, they might also develop, you know, cultivate the habit of reading, you know, in future. Thank you so much for coming to our program today.
Thank you for having
We really
me.
appreciate you. Don't worry, Read with Abiola, we give you guys one book each home today.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all for watching our program today. So from Read with Abiola, we're saying bye for now. Hope to see you soon. And don't forget to give us a like.
Subscribe.